When you're in jail, you're with that life or you're not. That life is a big lie. I grew up right here, Southern California, Rialto. I grew up with a single mother. My dad, he left, he was gone out of the picture my whole life. It was rough. A lot of parties, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs. Basically at 16 years old, that's when the gang activity started. My neighbors, they were part of a party crew. And the party crew, it was one of the most violent in Rialto, known for a lot of gunplay, known for having guns, known for shooting up parties and stuff like that. They lived right next door to me, and I started hanging out with this guy, and next thing you know, they were talking about jumping me in. You know, ever since then, 16 years old, all the way to 23, that's where, you know, the dark path started. It was supposed to be a rumble. I went with some friends. At that time, we all showed up at the park, and then next thing you know, a bigger crowd came on the opposite side. My friend, I saw him pull a gun out. He's probably just gonna flash it. He shot 3 people. Some of them were like younger kids. After my friend shot those 3 people at the park, they were looking for him, and the area was hot, you know? And there was some kid or some young man, he was like sitting in front of a friend's house. That's how bad it was. I didn't even care. They're in front of my friend's house, you know, like, and he was sitting there and he had his laptop. I told my other friend, hey, you go ask that guy for a lighter. So he went to go ask him for a lighter to distract him, and I went to go snatch the laptop. An undercover cop seen me. So I jumped from one trailer park to the other trailer park, and black and white, you know, was coming up, and I was thinking to myself, like, nah, like, you know, like, that's not for me. They're probably looking for, asking people questions, you know, about the shooting, whatever. And then he said, where'd you get that laptop? And I said, oh, dang, like, he got me, you know? They took me to jail, and they were saying, like, look, like, we'll let you out in 3 months, or you take felony probation, you can get out right now. And I was like, I'll take felony probation. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into, because felony probation is terrible. And after that, I ended up doing another 5.5 months just for spending the night at my cousin's house. It got raided. And then I did another 6 months after that for conspiracy to commit crime. We were trying to break into a car. They didn't catch us, but they caught us walking down the street, and right when he pulled up, I just started running. Yeah, so it was terrible. Jail is not a pretty place.
When you were in your criminal past, did you do any home burglaries? Is that a fair question?
I did.
What are some things you look for that said, this is a good house and this is not a house I want to go into?
Say if the area was, you know, was people with more money, you know, you go to areas like that. Or if they had a nicer car, or maybe if you knew them in some kind of way.
What would make you choose a civilian, non-combatant to go rob or harass? What are the things that would make somebody a target, an easy mark?
I mean, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, I remember we were at the park one time. There's a guy and a girl there, you know, and my friend, he just went and robbed them. But at the same time, they were at the park late at night, you know, like why are you here at the park late at night? Like, be wise. Don't be trying to be all romantic and say, I'm gonna go to the park, you know, or I've seen a guy get killed over $25 worth of weed. Stay away from the drug scene, stay away from the gangbanging scene, stay away from areas that are known for, you know, being shady, you know, and also watch yourself at times of the day, you know, like at nighttime it's the worst.
My mother, nothing good happens after 12 o'clock at night. In a gang lifestyle, is so much of where your hierarchy is how much respect you earn and how much respect you lose. You gotta look good in front of your guys.
Right.
One of the things I try to explain to my civilians is the fact that when you deal with a certain kind of person who's on a certain criminal bend, is you need to show respect to them. If a civilian's around some guys who are young men, high on testosterone, and a highly competitive environment, and somebody disrespects them, could there be some downsides for the average armed civilian?
Absolutely. People should show respect wherever they go. You know, it's very, very scary how some people are. You know, when you have a gun, you do think that, you know, you're strong, you're powerful, but there's always someone badder out there, you know, and there's always someone who really doesn't care about anything. They'll go ahead, they'll come at you. If someone is being crazy, I tell myself, hey, it's not worth it to, you know, try to have a screaming match with this person. Be gentle, you know? If someone comes off strong, just come off gentle, you know? Say, hey, I apologize. You know, I didn't mean to step on your toes. I didn't mean to disrespect you.
The fight you're always guaranteed to win is the one you're never in.
Right, exactly.
Now that you're out that lifestyle, how do you protect your home now in your lifestyle when you go to sleep at night and you and your wife are inside?
I make sure all the doors and windows are locked, you know? That's, I don't have a gun, I don't have a weapon or anything like that. I would like to say I would bust out a hammer that I have, you know, to protect my home, but that's basically it. I just lock the doors and lock the windows.
If you could talk to some baby police officers I had right now, based on your experience in life, in that lifestyle, what are some things you would say that would help an officer deal with people who are in the gang lifestyle or who are more prone to violence? What are some things you would tell a baby cop?
These baby cops, they're firecrackers sometimes, huh? I bet.
Oh, yes.
They want to hit the streets and save the world.
You figured this out, 100%.
You know, I mean, because that's how young gangbangers are too. You know, I remember the first time I went to jail, you know, I was acting crazy, like I was tough. You know, anybody who disrespects me, we're gonna fight right now or whatever. Just trying to put on a show, you know? You know, I would tell them like, hey man, like your job has purpose in it. You know, like just remember that, you know, you're the law enforcement. You know, you're here to help the people. You're here to de-escalate situations. I would try to make some sense in that, you know, and maybe even share a story about like, man, like, how helping someone, you know, just there's joy in that.
If you had a child who was, you know, 14, 15 and was looking in the gang reality, what would you tell them about this, having been down the path you've been?
I would just tell them that, you know, that they are loved. The reason I went down that path is because I was looking for some affirmation, you know, some kind of love, some kind of respect, and that if they think that there's something in that lifestyle that is appealing, it's all empty. It's an empty life. You know, you end up alone. What
would you say to somebody who lived next door to one of those people, civilian non-combatants, but all of a sudden they've got gangbangers next to them?
I would just really sit with them and try to build a relationship. That way I can connect with them and, you know, gain some influence and try to steer them down a different path, you know? The reason that they go down that path is because they don't have no vision, they don't have no goals. You know, they think that life is for right now, but I want to tell them that they do have a brighter future.
Do you think today the gang situation is better, worse, or about the same as it was back when you were involved in the lifestyle?
From what I've seen, it's getting worse. You know, the streets, there's more murders, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of drugs and stuff like that. So people, they're stuck in a cycle of poverty. You know, they're stuck in a cycle of gangbanging violence. There needs to be more people to really step up.
When you say more people step up, can you explain what you mean by that? Who are those people? Is it going to be politicians? Is it going to be local community leaders? Other older gang members who are out of the lifestyle now?
Everybody who's willing has to be able to reach out and try to meet the needs of the people out there who are going through this, because a lot of times there's a need that needs to be met. Somebody needs to provide for their family. Someone needs to be mentored. Someone needs to be taken care of. If those needs are not met, what happens is they'll find a way to do it. It's sad because, you know, they're living in sheds. You know, they're living on the street, they're living with their mom who's disabled. You try to tell them, like, look, like, go to school, be a better person, be the one who's gonna get your family out of the poverty. But at the same time, there's a lot of other people that are trying to influence them. Sell this dope, you know? Go rob somebody.
If we put Chris in charge of the planet and said, Chris, we're gonna put you in charge of getting these people to work in this gang problem, what age would you start attacking this problem?
Middle school and high school kids.
So 12, 13 years of
13, yeah.
What signs would you look for as a parent that your kid was getting involved in gang activity?
Probably just the way they dress, you know, their friends, the way they talk, you know, their language.
What are the things that a parent could have done, a loving, involved parent could have done at that time that could have kept you from going down that path? Or is there anything that could have kept you going down that path at that point?
Quality time, giving me the encouragement that I needed, the affirmation that I needed, bringing me around other people who were successful, you know, things like that.
If you could go back to a 13, 14, or 15-year-old Chris as the man you are today and give him some advice, what advice would that be?
Listen to the people who are trying to help you out. You know, there are a few people who literally invited me to church, you know. Don't go to your neighbor's house, like stay away from them, you know.
Stay away from them.
Like that, your life will end up very bad if you go to hang out with those guys.
Did you take any lessons out of jail that were helpful for you though?
That life is a big lie. I learned that when you're in jail, you're with that life or you're not. And if you're not, like everybody just doesn't care about you. You know, I can be getting out in a couple of days. If I don't want to do what they want me to do, like everybody just like, oh, we're gonna jump you, we're gonna smash you out, whatever. Why is this happening to me? Like I'm getting out in a couple of days, have somebody else do this stuff. You learn that nobody really cares about you. Everybody's only cares about themselves. It made me realize that I need to start chasing after the things that really do matter.
You sort of decided on your own to get out of the gang life.
Right.
That you had the strength to do that, which not many young men do. Where did you find that?
Sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself. Right. Life will push you to a place where either you're gonna play yourself and you're gonna keep doing the same thing, or you're gonna get real with yourself and walk away from the things that are, you know, hurting you. I started off with saying no to the drugs, you know, because I was heavily addicted to crystal meth at that time. I said, all right, I quit. That was my first step, I quit. My second step was stop hanging out with those people. And then my third step was staying on the right track, just keep doing that. As I kept saying no and as I kept staying away, I got stronger. You start learning like, man, like life is good, you know, like it's amazing. You know, that's how I left that life, is you just get tired.